Are you looking for a podcast where you can hear from real people regarding their real dental drama? If so, then you've come to the right place. Join hosts Bethany Petty and Dr. Rena Kuba as we dive into the solutions we've created and the mistakes we've made while managing dental drama. Let's get started.
All right, here we are, Thanksgiving week.
This is crazy.
I know, right? We're here.
November. That's insane.
And it's almost over.
That's even doubly insane now that you say that.
No.
Funny enough, just yesterday, one of my employees texted me and said, oh, it was so-and-so's 11th anniversary this week.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, I'm terrible at anniversaries and all of that. And I was like, no, she didn't. Oh, it is November. I guess you're right.
Like,
Okay.
how are we here?
Yeah.
I know. But we have arrived. We've got a good episode for today.
You think so?
I am like chomping at the bits. I had totally sprung this on you, which makes me even more excited to do it.
So
but
pleased with yourself.
before we get into that, I have a quick reminder for our listeners that this is the last week of November content for our subscription. As always, it's jam-packed. I just want to encourage everybody to get on, subscribe. We've got one more month, next month, December, of our 2025 pricing, and then we're jumping up in 2026. So just...
Which even your 2026 pricing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I applaud you for giving away your brain cells and advice for such a nominal fee. Because when I do the math on it, I'm like, okay, that is for the year. That's like you've got to see one crown appointment.
Yeah.
Even in peds, you've got to see one, like a DP case with, some treatment. Apparently, like somebody I knew the other day said something about how an apicoectomy she kind of needed $4,000. So you, Ended Honest, could subscribe for 4 referring colleagues.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cheap. How are you doing it for so cheap? So I'm going to keep pushing you to keep driving up that cost.
Yeah.
But for those of you that have not subscribed, I don't know, like, to me, it's still a bargain.
Yes.
But if you are going, penny pinching, whatever, then don't forget to subscribe before January because the price is going up.
Absolutely. Yes. So, okay. Today, are you ready?
I guess.
So, I actually texted you last night and said, by the way, annual reflection time. This is one of my favorite times of the year because it forces like this idea of slow down, think, reflect back. And you hate this time of year because you're like, let's just keep charging forward. Let's keep moving. And I'm forcing you to pause and really evaluate.
Which, yes, you sent me that text, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, it must be the end of the year. Again, me going, what? November? Oh my God, we're almost December? Okay, she's going to make me do this. I remember that. But I didn't realize it was going to come as far as less than 24 hours later. Here we are, getting duped.
Well, and yes, because I think our listeners need to hear somebody process through some of these questions. I already know that we won't get through all the questions. There's just no way to do that in one episode, but I want to at least start the process and let listeners hear you struggle through these questions. So we struggle through these questions every year, you and I do, and we normally get together in person and kind of talk through and reflect and kind of dream for next year as well. And so this will kind of launch us into that conversation that we always have, but I also want listeners to hear you process through, because even though we do this on an annual basis, I know right now if I were to tell you what questions am I going to ask, you might be able to give a general idea of, you're going to ask a little something about this or that, but you don't know these specific questions yet that I'm going to ask you. So I think it'll be good for listeners to hear you.
Well, and I think my natural inclination is to go, what does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, can we just get back to like how I can increase profitability and keep overhead down and all of that? So for me, my natural inclination is to go, oh yeah, this is nice, but what is the point? Like, and so I think you always do a great job of reminding me exactly what the point is and why you make me do this. And so I think it's important for listeners also, because I think probably more than less listeners are going to be like me going, okay, I get it. I kind of get in a global sense why this is important, but I really don't want to stop and think about this right now because I don't really see the direct correlation of how this is going to help me. And I will think about those things later, which of course we never do because we don't want to.
Later never comes.
Later never comes. But I think you always remind me of there is a direct correlation to reflecting back on these things. But even just that called annual reflection, I'm like, at the very best, it sounds super boring. 2, it sounds tedious. 3, it sounds like, what is the point? I would rather be doing a million other things right now.
I know.
So.
But today I have you trapped, and we're going to talk about them. So it's kind of a benefit for me too to force this conversation.
Non-Thanksgiving things I am not grateful for. Being trapped in this car, reflecting.
Oh, as y'all can tell, Dr. Kuba's favorite time of year is annual reflection time. But I do want to ask some questions and start the process. Anytime you and I start this conversation, I always like to start big and broad, and then we kind of narrow as we go through the conversation. Because to me, if we start too granular, we can get lost in the tedious nature. So I like to kind of think real big picture first. So I'll start with real easy, broad questions.
Mm-hmm. I know your easy, broad questions.
Okay, so question number 1 is, what have been the best aspects of this year?
You tell me. That's always my answer. Bethany, don't I pay you for a reason? You know what's went well. I think the best aspects of this year have been, I think it's, aside from a blip or two here or there, for the most part, I think my team, I think it's the best team I've ever had, which is really surprising because it's the smallest team I've had. And I just think they just get to task. That's not to say there's not little drama here or there, little interactions here or there. But overall, like, it has been the year that I can remember that has had the least amount of mental strain on me.
Yeah.
And a lot of like, they've got it.
Yeah.
I just need to set the tone of this is what I'm expecting and this is what I want out of this, and y'all make it happen. And that has been pretty much the trend. And so I think now you're probably going to want me to reflect on why is that? Why is this team the best team of it? Is that what's coming next?
Well, I was going to ask you to expound on that a little bit. So yes.
Okay, expound on that. I don't know. I think it's because we, it would have been this time last year, I think, that we kind of weeded out people that were weighing us down. And so now we've got people that, if nothing else, at least know the expectation, know the culture. Do they always follow it? Maybe not, but they know. And I think it's people that I hate to say this because I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. If a shoe drops, I'm blaming you. You jinxed it and willed this into whatever. But I would say it's people that can kind of see these are things I may not like about working here, but definitely the positives outweigh. And so it's almost like they are now going, this is the culture that I do want to be in. I feel like I've got a bunch of people that I wasn't able to say before this year that I feel like they all are like, this is my home. I think that does make a difference, because when you've got somebody who's kind of an outlier, who's kind of going, I don't know if I want to be here, those are the people who don't jump in and embrace the culture. That doesn't mean they like all aspects of the culture.
Right.
But I feel like every person there, I'm finally going, okay, if you were to leave, it's not because of me. It's because you got married and you were moving to Idaho. It's because your mom needs your help in New York. Like, whatever it is. It's not that, oh, I'm going to another office for better pay, or because you're a bitch, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's finally a team that we have really been like, this is our culture. Get on or get off.
Yeah.
And that's where we were at the end of last year. And the people that have stayed on have made it easy now, because we're all of the like-minded. We're all different, but we've all embraced the same culture.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
And I think the stability of the team, too. It's like, not only have you been able to weed it down to these are people that really get the culture, are committed to it, but also we haven't had a ton of change on the team.
But I think that's why.
Yeah.
I think that's why, because the people that are there are like, okay, I'm here and I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different ball game when we're not dealing with like stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Distractions.
Yeah.
And there's no distractions now.
Yeah.
If we say we want to I don't know, do what we're gonna implement this. We're gonna switch from this patient reminder to this. And I've got a team that's like, okay, let's do it. And they will each figure out their part in making that happen. And that's never happened before. In the past, it was always like, well, but maybe we need to this, and well, but, and it was all because we had distractors on the team who didn't want a change because it was inconvenient for them.
Right.
And now, if we say we want to change, there's enough trust that now they're going, okay, you've said it, you've thought through it, we trust you in your thought process if you've come to, and a lot of it's not my thought process. I'm like, hey guys, this is here, y'all tell me. Mm-hmm. And so now they are weighing it out. And before, when you had other people on the team that were like, well, but, no, it was always because it was inconvenient for them for some reason. Either they didn't understand it, or they didn't want to learn something new, or there was a million excuses. It doesn't happen now. Now I can truly give it to any team member and say, make this happen. You tell me if this can happen or not, if it's a good thing for this practice or not. So if it's a back thing, the back team is looking at it. If it's a front suggestion, and it's just made life a lot easier with this smooth running engine, because I know the people that are going to look into it aren't going to look into it for their own benefit. They're looking across the board going, is this really going to help our patients?
Yeah. I think that's spot on. I would have hoped that you would say that about the team, because I've been feeling the same thing, that there's just this relative calm when it comes to the team, where I think we look back at years past and that's been like a constant struggle, and we've had this nice year of peace and stability and natural motivation.
And so somebody's asking, like, how did you get there? I think it's because we finally were like, I mean, it didn't happen overnight, right? Like, we did all that culture stuff, I remember, at early 2024.
Yeah.
And it led to a trickling down that by October-ish, it was like, this is my culture, get on or get off. Mm-hmm. And then we weeded out the people. One left on her own, the other one we asked to leave, and it's been smooth sailing since. So it took a year.
Yeah.
But we stayed the course to say, this is what I am going to be tolerant of, and this is what I'm not.
Yeah. And give it time. Like, don't expect for you to make some of these changes and then immediately you're, experiencing the fruit of that. Give it time.
And it may get painful before it gets better. So.
Yeah. Okay, so the flip version of that is, what have been the worst aspects of this year?
The slowness.
Yeah.
The schedule.
Yeah.
So trying to sort that out. We've got an associate that will be leaving. And, it's always hard, the change and the bonds you have with that person. And certainly I wish him well, and I know he's going to do great things, and he's not left me high and dry, and he's not, but he's in a natural progression in his career and in his life and all the new things that are going on in his life. So I think we both have a mutual appreciation for each other. But now we've onboarded a new associate who has actually blended in quicker than we anticipated. And so it's just like, with the slowness and now having too many providers, like, who could say that? When do we ever have too many people? But there we are. So I think the slowness of the schedule has been really concerning.
Yeah. And I've had a lot of clients mentioning that. So it has been I've found that patterns tend to be universal. There's always an outlier or two that experienced a busier season than normal, but I've heard that from a lot of my clients.
And it makes me go, is it because we have too many providers? Is that why it feels like it's slower? Or is it's making me question my insurance participation.
Yeah.
We've worked so hard for that for so long, and I am questioning it.
Yeah.
So that's been the hardest part, I think, of this year.
Yeah. What have been some of the challenges that you've faced over this past year?
I think for me, it's kind of a unique year because of the startup. satellite that we decided to go ahead and try out. Sorry, what was the question?
So what have been some of the challenges that you've faced this year?
I think this year being a unique year with the startup we decided to start up, the opportunity that presented itself, and trying to figure out, like, I've said this before, like, and I still say it, my normal thought for somebody who's starting multiple practices, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And then here I am, right? And I think a colleague even said, yeah, you've always said, and then here you go. But it was a unique set of circumstances. And do I still advise other people do it? No, I don't. Like, it was challenging. And I'm like, it was challenging with everything in my favor. Like, when I first started the office on my own, the original one, I was by myself. Now I've got Bethany, and I've got trained staff, and I've got knowledge of, products, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it was still tough getting it going, sorting through some stuff. And I'm like, how the hell did I do this on my own years ago? So I think that probably has been the biggest challenge of the year.
Yeah. And it's a challenge. I mean, I think the positive side of that is it's a challenge that you took on. That it wasn't something that just hit you out of left field and now you're having to, like, put pieces back together. But it was a challenge that you chose to jump into, but it doesn't make it any less of a challenge.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that you chose, it can still produce a challenge for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would agree with you on that. What challenges have you overcome? And then on the flip side, which challenges seemed to defeat you this year?
I think I overcame at the end of the summer when I thought, and I know I talked a lot about this in one podcast, but it's the thing that stands out. So you'll correct me if I'm wrong, because I may have just forgotten other things that happened in the year, but I think the biggest challenge that I can remember is this same team that I'm talking about, like, getting along and doing great and doing all of that, and at the end of the summer to find that they were questioning my choices and my whatever. So I know I just finished saying that they trust me and trust my decisions. That was not true at the end of the summer.
Yeah. And
it really, I wasn't expecting it. It really irritated me. So I think, but we did overcome it, because at that point I was like, am I about to lose team members here? Mm-hmm. And there are days where I think for the most part, everybody's calmed down. It's all kind of settled down. But I think there are one or two people here or there that I still in the back of my mind go, I don't know what you're thinking. Mm-hmm. And I'm still on my toes with you guys.
Yeah. And it wasn't, I would say that challenge wasn't something that you just naturally overcome, like time heals all wounds type thing. It was you intentionally pursuing some of that dissent that was occurring and having uncomfortable conversations to rectify that challenge or that lack of trust. So when you say something like, oh, the challenge was when the team really was not trusting you and some of the decisions that you were making, but we overcame it due to intentional effort that you made to overcome it.
And I think that's where, too, it makes you second guess yourself when your team that you thought was behind you and you thought, should I be more specific? Because I know when I'm listening to these examples and when you do these episodes with somebody else, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I might...
I mean, if you're comfortable sharing it, that may be helpful.
I'll get going here, and then if I realize that I'm getting myself in trouble, I may pivot.
Okay,
but basically, this opportunity presented itself
for the second location.
And then there were some team members that I was not looking for team members. I was going to use my own team, right, to try to make this work and whatever. But then there were some team members that had applied to my buddy's office and said Buddy didn't need more team members of this skill set.
Yeah.
And so he was like, hey, they know pedo, they're coming from a pedo practice, you should interview them. And I'm like, I don't know that I can afford them. I don't know that I want the drama of another pediatric dentist staff, and then do I need to ask her for the courtesy of asking her, even though they're not her staff anymore, and like whatever. Anyway, it's just kind of this sticky situation. End up hiring a couple of these ladies because they seemed like what they were looking for is what I was looking for. They weren't looking for full-time. They weren't looking for whatever. Anyway, so I end up hiring them, thinking my team is going to be happy because now I'm not making my team go over and splitting their, adding to their workload, splitting their time. Now you commute to here to there and you do whatever. So I thought, for multiple reasons, I thought my team would be happy. I thought we would. Anyway, you and I talked a lot about it, and you and I both agreed that this was a good decision. Come to find at the end of the summer that my team, I don't know if they felt like they were part of the decision, because when all of the satellite stuff came to our door, basically, and I'm like, I thought you were going to be like, shut the hell up and focus on your Irving office. What are you doing? But you were like, no, this is a good opportunity for XYZ reasons. I actually went to my team and I said, hey guys, this is what I'm looking to do. What do y'all think? Do you think we could manage this? Do you think we could do it? My team was excited. They're like, oh, that's so exciting. We're expanding and we're whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I was like, okay, you guys come help me figure out, like, so I took my team over to the space, and what do y'all think? Like, how could we make this space work? Could we make it work? Is it worth what would y'all see? Like, so then we had people that were like, oh yeah, we'll paint it these colors and we'll make it, do we see the flow going this way? Do we see? So I was engaged with my team the whole time. I think what ended up happening was summer hit. We're super busy in the Irving office and in the original office. And then we end up hiring these team members that we weren't looking to find, but they also kind of fell into our lap. We hire them. And so then I was like, okay, ladies, you guys are then in charge of these things for this practice. Not realizing that my team felt like I had kind of cut them off.
Yeah.
And that I was now like the new shiny office that they thought they were going to get to be a part of.
Yeah.
That they're now not a part of. And I guess my mindset was, let me not distract you and add to your plate when we're already super busy in the summer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so come at the end of the summer, to me, I'm like, we rock and rolled. We had this super busy summer. There was no drama. And then the drama all hit then, because they're like, well, what are they doing? Why do they get these hours? Why do they get to go home then? Why do they not have to do this? I'm just like, are you out of your mind? Like, you wanted to do all of that stuff?
Right.
So anyway, it was like, suddenly one of them was like, well, why did you hire them? Yeah. Does that make any sense as a new business when you don't have resources?
Yeah. And
you have us, and yet you chose to hire these people. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
And I just wasn't expecting that, because I had kept them in the loop.
Yeah.
And somehow they felt like I was cutting them off, and I think they felt like I had another family.
Right.
Like I had gone and I was cheating on them.
You're cheating on them.
That's how I felt. I was like, are you crazy? Like, I'm building this for us.
Yes.
I'm killing myself to make this work for us so that we can have a bigger patient base. I don't have to cut your hours during slow time. Yeah. I'm not bogging you down during busy time. Mm-hmm. I'm doing all the work over there to get it up and running so that when it does start producing, then we all have the opportunity for those who want more hours can have more hours, the ones who don't want. But then we have more of a revenue source. We can all bonus more. Like, I'm thinking I'm doing this for the family.
Right.
And the family's like, you've abandoned us.
Yeah.
So
that's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what it boiled down to.
That's what it boiled down to. So, but then I had to call out some of these team members.
Yeah.
And remind them, like, do you know me or do you not? Would I ever abandon you? When have I abandoned you?
Yeah.
Or if you're going now, like, I've got all these other people that are, have their share of their hours. Do you want those hours?
Yeah.
Do you want to come in at that time and leave at that time?
Right.
Like, do you want to be in charge of these tasks? Calling this, setting up that, looking to this. Y'all don't want to do all that. You want to be in Irving and make money, see patients and make money.
Yeah.
So have you forgotten that I'm looking out for you?
Yeah.
So anyway, it was, I don't know if that's helpful or not in the situation.
I think that's super helpful, because again, it may not be a second location for somebody that's listening, but any practice decision that the practice owner made that may have caused some dissent unknowingly. But again, that challenge may present itself, and it takes pursuit to rectify that that change or that challenge and overcome it. That we can't just, like, if you would have just continued on, like, oh, they're being ridiculous, crazy team, and then just forged ahead, I don't know that it would have solved itself. I think it required some intentional conversations.
Well, and then the one that's been super loyal and that I wasn't expecting this from at all, I kind of had to call her out, which I never call her out because she's a great employee. And I had to call her out and say, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why would you get caught up in all the talk? Why would you not come to me?
Yeah.
Like, you have access to me. I'm not there every day. You're not there every day, so we don't see each other as much. But we always text each other. We always whatever. So if you had doubts or concerns, where have you been?
Yeah.
Like, don't put this on me. In fact, I'm putting it on you. You should be the one championing me. When other people are squawking in the office, you should be the one standing up for me going, hey guys, let's ask questions and get to the bottom of it. I did not expect you to be joining the squawking.
Yeah.
You're saying you're supposed to have my back. You always have my back. Where did you have my back in this case?
Yeah.
I don't think you did.
Yeah.
And I never confront her like that or have, but I had to tell her what was honestly on my heart and going, is she going to be like, I'm done here?
Yeah.
Because she could have easily taken it that way too.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She, I think we both kind of learned from that. And
yeah, I think that's a perfect example of a challenge that you overcame. Thankfully, can you think of any that you had this year that maybe you felt defeated in? Any challenges?
I don't know. Can you remind me of
That's
some
what I
that
was sitting here thinking. No. I feel like any challenge or bump in the road that we faced, I feel like was solved and rectified.
I can't think of one or two people that even after this or even earlier in the year that I finally just had to kind of in my mind go, okay, you seem unsatisfied with XYZ, and I always trip over backwards to try to make sure that you feel more. One came to me in the summer and was like, hey, I am picking up more work here. I should be paid more over here. And I'm thinking, no, you shouldn't, because I let you do these things, and really I shouldn't let you do those things.
Yeah.
It doesn't fall in your job. So, for example, if it was a front desk that's like, oh, I'm doing all of your, sterilization chart notes and whatever, and I'm like, but that's because you...
And I'm having to stay late to do those things, so I should get paid differently.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm not asking you to do those things. In fact, the RDAs should be doing those things, and they want the hours too.
Yeah.
But you're beating them to it because you want more hours, and so I'm letting you do that, but now you want more pay because you're doing these things. And it's somebody who I do value a lot, but I think I finally was defeated. I feel defeated. When I think that when you say defeat, that's the face that pops into my mind going, I feel like I can never quite make you happy. You're always angling for something more. And I always feel like I'm not doing enough, and I don't want to lose you, but you keep trying to push. But we know her. That's her personality. She's always going to try to push. So I think I kind of hit a road with her going, you know what, if you need to move on to other pastures, I guess that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't want that. But I'm defeated in trying to make you happy.
Yeah. But I honestly feel like, even though I know you feel defeated in that, I feel like that allowed for a slight change in the relationship, which actually has been good.
But I never know where that's going.
Yeah.
I think it's been good in that she finally, at least for this year, has realized that is a boundary that is set, and that's that.
Yeah.
And she can, it's not in my court anymore. It's up to her. So I guess where I'm saying, like, I don't know what's going to change in her life next year such that she's going to go, okay, yes, I'm bouncing now. I think right now, because she can't do better.
Yeah.
She hasn't found better in her mind yet. But I have been defeated enough to go, I'm done.
I can't do more.
I can't do it anymore. Like, this is where, and I just need to brace myself for not if, but when she says, okay, now this is the path I'm taking, and me go, I wish you well, and off you go. And having peace in my mind going, I know I've done everything I can.
I think that's key, is like a couple key things from that is in something that you feel defeated in, this scenario, for example, it has caused you to brace yourself. And when you say brace yourself, I know the conversations that you and I have had to make sure we're prepared for that, but also emotionally bracing yourself for it. And then I would say also making sure that you're at peace with all that you've done. And so to reach a point where you're like, I've done all I can do, and I feel good about all that I've done to retain this person for as long as I have. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. And so even though it's defeating, because you're like, I still can't fully satisfy, I feel like it's the best of the defeat. You've done all that you can to retain, and you're at peace if it does end up not being retained at that point. So, yeah. No, I think that's a really good example. Okay. Another question that I have is, what have been some of your proudest accomplishments this year?
Retaining the team.
Yeah.
And then the new office getting going, even though it is dismally slow, like it is not picking up at all the way I envisioned it to. But I'm still having fun.
Yeah.
I don't regret the decision yet. I'm sure my bank account and my accountant regret the decision. But as far as a feeling, I'm still having fun.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. As long as it's enjoyable, and at some point the dollars and cents will make sense. But even right now, when it's a little bit of a financial pinch, it's like, okay, at least you're enjoying it. It'd be different if you were like hating life and also it's costing you. But the fact that it's brought joy and excitement and has reminded you of some of those early days of the practice, reliving some of those experiences again, that's been fun.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Think back on this year and find moments where you felt your happiest or like you're most at peace. Like, what were some of those moments that you can pinpoint feeling happy or at peace?
I don't know. I think being able to go on vacation in the summer and come back and not have missed a beat. Like,
yeah, the freedom of that, of like, I was able to leave and it's fine.
Yeah.
The building hasn't burned down, and
yeah.
And I would say too, and maybe even past the summer, once we brought on the additional associate, I feel like one of the things I've been happy about for you is it's allowed you to take a little bit more time away from the practice, which can be a blessing and a curse. Like sometimes that can induce anxiety, which I've seen.
Which it has.
I've seen you struggle with that, but I've also been like, you're not going to have another time like this.
And I keep trying to remind myself of that.
Yeah. So even though it's been anxiety producing in some ways, I feel like I've been happy for you because I'm like, there was one day, and this hardly ever happens, but we were like, you know what? I'm actually kind of bored today. And I was like, very few practice owners ever get that opportunity to go, I'm so well-staffed, too well-staffed ultimately at the end of the day. But I'm like, okay, these few months that you have are going to be short-lived. And I've been happy for that, for you. So even taking some of those downtimes to be like, okay, even if it was a down or if it was a low or the practice isn't busy enough, shoot, all my patients canceled this afternoon, I have nothing to do. It's like, yes, that can be anxiety producing, but also hopefully take advantage of that opportunity is what I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you think of anything team-wise where you've had like a really great team bonding moment, even if it's not some event that you've planned, but like just a moment where you felt really happy or content with your team? I was trying to think about, you were mentioning it was the second location recently that you were coming away from it. You had called me and left me a voice message, and you were like, we were at the office today and it was really slow. We only had a couple patients in the morning, but then the rest of the time, y'all were planning something.
The photo shoot, the Santa photo shoot, maybe?
I think that's what it was. And you were like, it was just so fun to plan the Santa photo shoot, and everybody was so enthusiastic. And I remember listening to that voicemail thinking, I can tell you sound really happy or excited, or like you really enjoyed that.
Well, I think, yeah. So that at the second location that day, but even in the original location, yeah, there are things, I feel like more often than not, this whole, like, after we got over that hump of some stuff that happened with the new office and the team and all of that. So, like, say that was maybe, August-ish?
Yeah.
And then kind of September, October-ish, like, things have just kind of settled. People seem settled, which I still am like, are y'all settled or am I missing it, right? Like, there's always in the back of my mind. But, yeah, it's like when I am up there, I'm like, hey, guys, like, do y'all want to do this? Or should we do that? Or should we? I feel like it's just a lot lighter right now. We're just kind of having fun, maybe because I am able to be a little more creative with things, or I'm not super stressed about, I'm stressed about the slowness, but otherwise everything else is, people are getting along, and so it's like, okay, well, what fun things can we do? I think one of the most fun things we did was our wig day.
Yes.
We had wig week at the end of the summer.
Yes.
Where we were all just like wearing wigs for no reason, just to make ourselves laugh, and we had fun with that. And then I had a wig the other day. Oh yeah, I was doing my Taylor Swift. Yeah, so it's like, I guess maybe the free brain cells have allowed me to do like more creative little things that we don't really get a chance to do.
Yes,
and still productive in that we're trying to do marketing stuff.
Yeah, but also just allowing some of that slow time to not wallow in the slowness or just be overcome by anxiety. To go, okay, what opportunities do we have to have a little bit of fun, but productive fun? And yeah, if y'all don't track Dr. Kuba on her social media shenanigans, y'all will see her Taylor Swifting it up. The videos just make me laugh thinking about it. So y'all need to go.
So pleased with my outfit. Yeah. So pleased.
Y'all need to go track Dr. Kuba, a.k.a. Taylor Swift, down. And
foolery.
But again, having fun with those slow times to go, okay, how can we be productive with these, and allowing yourself to have fun with that, which I think you've done that for
we
sure.
Had fun. Yes. We did.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to pause and talk, and then I'm going to save some of the nitty-gritty questions for the bonus episode. But
before you ask me, what is the point of doing all of this? No, I'm serious. Like, for a listener going, okay, yeah, she told us about her highs and lows, and I didn't have any highs and lows, or I did, or whatever. Like, I've been severely understaffed. Like, what's your point? Like, good for you. Are you bragging about it? Right? Like, as a listener, why are we doing this?
Yes. So I have several comments on this that I'm glad you asked the question, because I do feel like I know you're asking it honestly right now, but the reason I laugh is because you ask it every year. You're always like, wait, we're doing what again? Annual reflection, Dr. Kuba, but why? So I'm glad you're asking again, because repetition is important. And so first and foremost, I don't think we do enough looking back to celebrate the wins. We just get in trench mode where we're just in the trenches, slugging it out. You know, I almost kind of think of, I'm married to a history teacher, and so we've watched countless wartime movies, over the years of us being together. And there's this one movie in my head, I won't be able to remember it, but they're walking through, my husband loves this movie because it's like one camera vantage point the whole way. I don't know. Anyway. So we're following these two characters through this, they're in wartime, I think against Germany. And they're walking through these trenches, and the war is ongoing, but there's not active gunfire in the moment. And so as they're walking through these trenches, all these guys are kind of laid up against these sandbag walls, and they're taking a moment to just rest. And to me, annual reflection is that. We're not out of the war. We're in the middle of the game, right? But we just have this moment where we force no gunfire. There's no There's no major event that I need to attend to. I just need to sit back and like rest for a moment. And in that resting, it allows us to think about what we've accomplished and that we celebrate that. Like sometimes when you're in the trenches, you're like, I'm alive. That's all I can celebrate right now. I'm alive. The practice is alive. I've got a team member or two. But there's still accomplishment in that. And we need to take a moment to like appreciate the accomplishments that we've experienced.
Why?
Why celebrate that?
Yes, like, okay, I celebrated it because I had money to spend on my rent. Like, yes, it was celebrated. It's all good.
So yeah, you're exactly right. Like, why pause and celebrate the successes? Because sometimes we need to encourage ourselves. We're nearing the end of a year. There's a natural fatigue that can start to develop as we think about, oh my gosh, we're moving into another year of this. And if we don't pause to just temporarily celebrate the successes, it can just feel like one continual line of monotony or wartime, and so we've got to give ourselves the satisfaction of celebrating the successes.
Well, I think it's easy to forget.
Yes.
That, you're just marching on. You're just going. And you will hit that cliff where you're like, how long have I been marching and how much longer can I go? And stopping to go, you know what? No, we did traverse that pond back there that we survived. We did do this, and like we did accomplish things, and we're not done, but we did accomplish things. And if that's motivation to keep going.
Yes. Motivation.
Like there's a reason, it's not all just been trenches. There's a reason we're out here. We're moving along. Because I think it's easy to lose sight of that. It's like, what are we doing? It just seems like the same old. We're always putting out fires. We're always like dodging the bullets. And
yeah.
Is this all there is to it? Like,
Yeah.
When do I, throw in my white flag? I'm done. And so reflecting back and going, okay, no. We did have ups and downs. And I think this is where you're going to say, because you're already reminding me, so how can next year be full of more ups than downs?
Exactly.
And if we didn't stop to acknowledge the ups and downs and the whats and whys of it, then how can you move forward into the next year more strategically?
Exactly. We don't want to look back and know that we followed one straight line. Like you mentioned the term dodging bullets. Like if we think of dodging bullets, like if you think of the movies, they don't run a direct line. That would be dumb. You're going to get hit by a bullet at some point. If somebody's shooting at you and you run a straight line, they've got a better chance to take you out. And so what is it, serpentine? Is that what it is? My husband always says it. So you run this diagonal pattern of like literally dodging bullets. We dodge our best bullets in practice ownership and leadership and management if we pivot. And so we've got to constantly pivot. If we run a straight line and never pause to go, what were our ups? What were our downs? How can we plan for those better next year? How can we build on our strengths and minimize our weaknesses? Then you're going to tire out at some point. You're going to get hit by a bullet at some point if you're not taking time to pause, reflect, and then pivot.
And re-strategize.
Re-strategize is the key thing. So I think that's one of the key takeaways on this is identify your ups, identify your downs. And it's going to allow you to better plan for next year, but also motivate yourself. Pat yourself on the back for what you did well in the year. Some of us are more inclined to pat ourselves on the back too much. But I found that a lot of practice owners don't pat themselves on the back enough.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Now I said one of the best things that happened to me this year is that the team was steady and stable. Nobody came off the team. We added to the team from the new location. So then next year, if my strategy is continue to retain the team, but we do have the one that decides that, the one I just talked about that I'm kind of defeated, and if she just has to leave, well, let's say she does. So then how am I strategizing for that, given that was my strength of this year, and I want to duplicate that next year?
Yeah.
I guess, what are strategies I would have for that? Or what if it's one of the ones that I wasn't expecting? Like everybody seemed happy and then suddenly one is off for whatever reason. Maybe she wasn't as happy as I thought she was, or she's the one moving to Idaho or whatever. So how does me reflecting on that this year help me with that next year?
Well, so this is where we've, at least in this episode so far, what we've done is pretty high level reflection questions. As we continue going through reflection questions, it does turn into different aspects. Like there is a section where we go through each team member and we evaluate each team member and we go, okay, right now, what are Susie's highs and lows? What are we seeing? What's Susie's path right now? Is there anything that I can do to help her have more highs and less lows? And so, yes, we started kind of big picture.
And I would say you use the word high level. It's actually low level, but higher out, bigger picture, where it's the easier questions. And then we get to the higher level, more detailed, strategic, which I think is why most of us don't like doing this, because I'm like, you want me to sit and analyze every team member's pros and cons and all of this, and like, but I can't help if she's going to get married and move to Idaho, so what do you want me to do about that? And what you're saying is, but what if she doesn't move to Idaho?
Right.
And how can you keep her more satisfied in the job?
And then also building constant plan A, plan B, plan C. So if we don't pause to evaluate Susie and what's going on with her and the what ifs with her, then we don't have the time to build a plan for her. So if she stays, here's how we're going to accelerate her in our practice, and here's some actual tangible things that we're going to plan for Susie. But if she gets married and moves to Idaho, let's build that plan too, because we're projecting. So business, when we think about big picture business, corporates, all of that, they're all about project.
Where's our growth and how are we getting there?
Exactly. We don't do that enough in small business because we're in trench mode mentality. Just stay in the trenches, huddle there, wait for the bullets, then strike. And we need to harness what corporate big business does well, which is project. And this annual reflection for me forces us to go there. And we may not be big corporate thinkers, but in a small business way, we're at least starting to build plans.
So I guess to me then, I've got you. But for people that don't have you and are going, wait, you want me to do what? You want me to project out for so-and-so? Like, when would you like me to do that? How would I know? What should my plan B be? I don't know. If I had one, I wouldn't be in the trench. Like, so what advice do you have for people that don't have a you?
If you don't have a me or a consultant or something, I can't even reiterate enough, subscribe. Like, every tool that you need, in all honesty, is housed within this subscription. That is why we've created it. For people out there that don't have these resources, we've put the resources together for you. There is an annual reflection document on our hub that's included as a part of the subscription if you've been a former subscriber, that walks you through exactly what to do. And so, that's my best piece of advice at this point. So I think now's the appropriate spot to say, we're going to continue this annual conversation, this annual reflection conversation, get a little bit more nitty gritty with you, which I know you love. But subscribers are going to hear that.
Thanks for joining the conversation today. We hope that you are comforted in knowing that you are not alone, but we also hope that you're walking away with some really great tips and tricks to try in your practice. We value your feedback, so please take a few moments to rate and review the podcast. Finally, we want to make sure that we're covering the topics that matter to you. So track us down on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and let us know what topics you want us to cover. As always, please know that we are rooting for you today as you manage your dental drama.